Shane Sattama Samstapako Lokanam Hitakarune Trubhavane Manyan Saranya Karo Radha Krishna Padada Vinda Bhajana Nandela Matalako Vande Rupa Sanatana Yugo Shijiva Gopalako Vande Rupa Sanatana Ragayugo Shijiva Gopalako. Excuse me. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the six Goswamis, named Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, who are very expert in scrutinizing, studying all the revealed scriptures, with the aim of establishing eternal religious principles for the benefit of all human beings. Thus they are honored all over the three worlds, and they are worth taking shelter of because they are absorbed in the mood of the gopis and are engaged in the translating loving service of Radha and Krishna. So we're on chapter 49. Is that correct?
Yes, Prabhu, chapter 49.
Okay. And we've started that chapter. So I heard you say beginning from?
The devotion, I don't have my Kindle.
With the ecstasy of devotion.
With the ecstasy of devotion in conjugal love. Mixture of love.
Okay. Everyone's volume is quite low. So might be something wrong with me at this end. Somewhere I'm hearing.
Mine okay? Is mine okay?
49.
It's just me. I'm getting hard of hearing.
So did you say 49 chapter, Muli Prabhu?
Yes, that's the chapter.
Okay, so we start from the beginning or what? I don't know.
No.
Mixing of rasas, is it?
Someone can say again the beginning of the paragraph.
I don't know where we were. Yeah.
With the ecstasy of devotional laughter.
Okay. Yeah, with the ecstasy of devotional laughter.
It's
Okay.
384.
So 1, 2, third paragraph, isn't it?
Okay,
Right.
thank you. Okay. Okay. I guess find it, Mr. Jennifer. Okay, let's continue with this chapter, the mixing of rasas. Last time we was referring to that chart done by Dhanadhar Swami. Perhaps I'll see if I can find that while we begin the reading. Kind of helps us to understand what's going on a little bit more. So, Novel Latika, you have your hand raised. You can begin reading.
Yeah. Okay, you can hear me?
Just about.
Okay, let me just do that. Okay. With the ecstasy of devotional laughter, a mixture of dread, conjugal love, or parental love is compatible, whereas a mixture of compassion or ghastliness is incompatible. With the ecstasy of devotion in astonishment, a mixture of chivalry or neutral love is compatible, whereas a mixture of anger or dread is always incompatible. With the ecstasy of devotional chivalry, a mixture of astonishment, laughter, or servitude is compatible, whereas a mixture of dread or conjugal love is incompatible. According to some expert opinions, the ecstasy of neutral love is always compatible with devotional service in chivalry. With the ecstasy of compassion in devotional service, a mixture of anger or parental love is compatible, whereas a mixture of laughter, conjugal love, or astonishment is always incompatible. With the ecstasy of anger in devotional service, a mixture of compassion or chivalry is compatible, whereas a mixture of laughter, conjugal union, or dread is completely incompatible. With the ecstasy of dread in devotional service, a mixture of ghastliness or compassion is compatible. With the ecstasy of chivalry in devotional service, a mixture of conjugal union, laughter, or anger is always incompatible. In the ecstasy of ghastliness in devotional service, Feelings of neutral love, laughter, or servitude are compatible, whereas feelings of conjugal union and fraternity are incompatible. The above analysis is a sample of the study of rasas, or incompatible mixing of rasas. This transcendental science of rasas can thoroughly explain the humors in ecstatic love that are compatible and incompatible with one another. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was residing in Jagannath Puri, many poets and devotees used to come to him and offer their different kinds of poetry. But the regulation was that Lord Chaitanya's secretary, Swarup Damodar, first examined all of these writings scrutinizingly, and if he would find any that there were no incompatibilities in the rasas or transcendental mellows, he would then allow the poet to approach Lord Chaitanya and recite his poetry. The topic of incompatibility is a very important one, and those who are pure devotees always expect to find perfect compatibility in descriptions of different relationships with the personality of Godhead. The study of compatibility and incompatibility sometimes becomes very involved, and a hint of why this is so is given as follows. When a friend meets another friend, this mellow produced out of that meeting is generally taken to be very palatable. But actually, with such meetings between two friends, there are so many feelings involved that it is difficult to ascertain when these feelings are actually becoming compatible and when they are becoming incompatible. Expert literary scholars have analyzed the rasas that are compatible with one another by contrasting the various rasas in a particular mixture under the names whole and part. According to this method, the prominent feeling is called the whole, and the subordinate feeling is called the part. The following statement elucidates the subject of part and whole. All living entities are just like sparks from the supreme fire, and as such, I do not know if I, a tiny spark, shall be able to engage myself in the transcendental loving service of this supreme fire, Lord Krishna. In this statement, the feelings of neutral love are taken as the whole, whereas the desire to serve the Lord is taken as the part. Actually, in the Brahman effulgence, there is no chance of a reciprocation of loving ecstasy between the Lord and the devotee. There is another quotation from a devotee who laments as follows: "Alas, I am still trying to relish different pleasurable states from this body, which is simply some skin covering mucus, semen, and blood. In this state of consciousness, I am so condemned that I cannot relish the transcendental ecstasy of remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In this statement, there are two ecstatic loving humors, namely neutrality and ghastliness. Neutrality is taken here as the whole, whereas the ecstasy of ghastliness is the part." There is a similar statement by a devotee as follows: "I shall now begin my service of fanning the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, who is seated on a golden throne. He is the Supreme Parabrahman in his eternal transcendental form of cloudy blackish complexion. Now I shall give up my affection for my material body, which is nothing but a bunch of flesh and blood. Herein also there is a combination of servitude and ghastliness, where the ecstasy of servitude is taken as the whole, and the ecstasy of ghastliness is taken as the part." There is another statement as follows: "When shall I be freed from the mode of ignorance, and being thus purified, when shall I attain the stage of serving Krishna eternally? Only then shall I be able to worship him, always observing his lotus eyes and beautiful face." In this statement, the whole is the ecstasy of neutrality, and the part is servitorship. There is another statement as follows: "Please look at this devotee of the Lord who is dancing just from remembering the lotus feet of Krishna. Simply by observing his dance, you will lose all interest in even the most beautiful women." In this statement, the whole is in neutrality and the part is in ghastliness.
Okay, perhaps we better just pause there so are we all on track? We'll kind of understand what's going on here.
No? It's with the chart is easier.
Yeah, but the chart doesn't just here. Yeah.
Yeah. with the chat you could figure out, but this is kind of giving examples as well, you know. So
Yeah. But basically, to help us understand what is going on, because what's going on here is what's going on in its pure form in the spiritual world. So as Prabhupada gave the example, when the two friends meet together, there's exchange of rasa. Yeah? There's exchange of feelings, or there's exchange of particular emotions. So quite obviously, the emotion of, or the rasa of rodra, or anger, is incompatible in that relationship. Obvious, no? Yes, I mean, if they're friends, but something may happen, and they may become angry with each other, so that's another, then that's another situation. So, and I think Rupa Goswami is, when he's also saying as a part and the whole, there's a main rasa, which is the stehi bhav, yeah, and then there's secondary rasas. So he could take it as the stehi bhav, but now he's speaking about the, we have the 5 principal relationships and the 8 secondary relationships. So he's speaking about those now, and what's compatible or not compatible in relationship to these rasas. But it kind of, for me, it's quite, even Prabhupada says it's very scientific. But what is quite obvious is that it's very important in regards to Krishna Leela and understanding Krishna Leela. So it's not subject for any speculation, which persons are prone to do. Sometimes they speculate on their own relationship with Krishna, or they have speculations about the position of Krishna in relationship to his devotees. Like at the moment we're discussing in Sudha Bhakti Chintamani Upper Sampradayas, and next week we will begin by speaking about Gauranga Nagari, and they're rejected, they're seen as Upper Sampradaya because they have a misunderstanding of the rasa of Lord Chaitanya. They say he is Krishna, which he is, but he is predominantly in the mood of Radharani, feeling separation from Krishna. But they say that he is Krishna, and he is acting as Krishna. He is acting as Krishna, and he's enjoying rasa with the gopis, who in the form of Rupa Manjari, etc., Sanatana Goswami, and their original gopi forms. You understand the rasa basya? They will, that's called, yeah, so it's called Gauranga Nagari, and they see Krishna, or Lord Chaitanya being Krishna, and they are Nagari, they are the gopis. And even though they go so far to write bogus books which describe how, well, I don't even want to mention it, but they describe bogus books saying how Lord Chaitanya actually had conjugal relationships. Yeah. So anyway, we're not
But
going.
they said that about Jesus Christ as well. So
Yeah. So anything goes in this mad material world.
Yeah.
And it's a you heard that saying? There is nothing a goat won't eat, and there's nothing a madman won't say.
Yeah.
There's nothing a goat. So that's why Prabhupada's mentioning the Sri Damodar Goswami. He mentions there, and it's in Chaitanya Charitamrita, he was very, very strict on this. Because if anyone bought some play or some poem or some writing or some book which was rasa bas, it would it would disturb the Lord. It would be an unnecessary disturbance. So in other words, relationship with God is not subject, because it's interesting because it's based on emotion. But that emotion, it doesn't mean anything goes. That emotion has to be correct, or that experience of that relationship has to be according to the Rasa Tattva. And if it's not, then no matter how wonderful it may be to you, it's considered to be, I can say it's considered to be, because it bogus is the word. So we're not going to remember all these details, and don't think perhaps we're not expected to exactly. We can, if you want, you can memorize every rasa and every memorize what every rasa is, the secondary rasas, and what is compatible and what is not. That may be a tall order, but you get the essence of what's being explained here and why is it being explained.
No, Prabhu. Prabhu, can you just expand on the last one? Maybe I'll get it then. Where it's, about this dancing person. It will lose all interest in the most beautiful woman. I can understand that. In this statement, the whole is neutrality and part is ghastliness. What does
Yeah,
that
let me
mean?
just find it. So yeah, perhaps we're focusing on one. So how does it begin, the paragraph?
No, this is the last line where we stopped. It
Yeah.
starts with, there is another statement as follows. Please look at the devotees of the Lord who is dancing.
Okay,
Just
I'm going
remember.
to find it. There was, because
Okay.
there is
There is another statement.
is it when I shall be free from the mode of ignorance?
No, the para starts, there's another statement as follows. Please look at this devotee of the
Okay, I
Lord.
got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's take this as an example and see. So there is another statement as follows. Please look at this devotee of the Lord who is dancing just from remembering the lotus feet of Krishna.
Yeah.
Simply by observing his dance, you will lose all interest, even in the most beautiful woman.
Yeah.
This statement, the whole is neutrality, and the part is in ghastliness. All right. So can anyone explain it then? This is your exam question. You have to write a 300 word essay on this. For me, it's quite perhaps for some of you as well. What is the neutral statement and what is the ghastly? What is being explained as neutrality in that statement, and what is being explained as ghastly? Now, I would say ghastliness is the part where he's expressing to lose all interest, even in the most beautiful woman.
How can that be ghastliness? Why would that be ghastliness?
Well, did you know we have that verse, Yad avadi mama checha chadapada vindi navarasadamni uditim brantim asit, the verse which describes Yamunujacharya, Yamunujacharya, who would curl his lips with distaste whenever he would think of previous sensual activities.
Okay, so that would
ghastly. It's like adverse almost, ghastly. So I would say that's the ghastliness part.
Okay.
Now the neutrality part, the whole, the main emphasis in this paragraph is the neutrality. The ghastliness was a secondary. So the ghastliness happens to be a secondary. What's it? Golnavriti and get it one. Please look at this devotee of the Lord who is dancing just from remembering the lotus feet. Simply by observing could we say simply by observing is neutrality?
Okay.
Yeah, simply by observing. Because remember we spoke about Shantaras, and it's very much in neutrality. One's observing the glory of the Lord.
Yeah.
Maybe, but there's no particular service. So you stand off,
Yeah.
So simply by observing his dance. So that's a statement of neutrality.
Okay.
And then ghastliness is the adversity to even the most beautiful woman.
Yeah. Got it now. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, but very good. That's
Murli
allowed us to
Prabhu.
perhaps kind of understand something, what is
Yeah.
going on. Someone else had a question?
Yeah, I was just saying, if you just read the next one, it says, the devotees boldly said, my dear Lord, I'm turning my face from my source and association with the girls. That paragraph will explain the one before as well, what you just now explained, because he's not interested in anything else. He's only interested in Krishna, and that's why he's just turning away from all those things.
Yeah, is that the next one down that you're
The
reading?
next one,
Yeah.
yeah. So when you do read the next one, just little bit,
Makes
it
more
just
sense.
gives you an
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
That's what I
devotee
think.
boldly
I don't
said,
know if you agree
My-
with me, but
Yeah, let me just read it.
Yes, please.
We're
One
going to read
devotee
that,
boldly
aren't we?
said, my dear Lord, now I am turning my face from any thought of association with young girls. So there's more.
I have lost
Ghastliness.
all
As
interest.
far as Brahman realization, son, I've lost all interest because I'm completely absorbed in thinking of you. And being absorbed so blissfully, I have lost all other desires, even the desire for mystic power. Now my mind is attracted only to worshiping lotus feet. In this statement, the whole of the ecstasy is neutrality,
Interesting.
and the part
And the
is
part of,
chivalry.
yeah.
Where does the chivalry come in?
I don't know, probably no idea about that bit, but I was just explaining.
I think it's in the mood as the chivalry is like, as far as Brahman is concerned, I've lost all interest, like
Yes.
chivalrous, you know.
That's sure.
Yeah, probably
And
get
also
shiver,
because
yeah.
I'm completely absorbed in thinking of you. It's like a war statement, if you want. Brahman,
I know.
Brahman,
Probably, yeah, and probably, I mean, you know, the ecstasy of shivering, probably he might be explaining in that way. Could be, I don't know.
the ecstasy of what?
The ecstasy, I mean, you know, he's explaining himself about he's lost all his interest in material world. So shivering is that he
Not
is,
shivering, chivalry.
no, surely, yeah. So he is actually explaining in that way. Sorry, I meant that way. He's
Okay,
just,
yeah. Yeah,
not shiver,
chivalrous
not
statement.
shiver, not like, yeah, no.
Yeah, chivalrous statement.
Shiver,
Yeah.
yeah.
So like we may have such chivalrous feelings, rasa, you know. I will no longer watch the news. I'm fed up with it.
I've given up reading all other books. That's being chivalrous here.
Yeah,
Haribol,
you know,
Haribol.
Really?
had it
I don't
with,
read any other books.
that's so chivalrous, yeah.
Not Krishna books, but other material.
Yeah,
Isn't
we're
that-
only, you're not interested in Grammy guitar. I will not
No.
hear any village talk anymore.
No,
I'm
it's
done with it. No Grammy guitar.
yeah.
Shouldn't be.
Okay, that's good.
Grammy guitar should be. No more. All right. Yeah, that was good. We kind of trying to grasp of what's being spoken of.
Should have done that with a couple of them to really get the
Yeah,
gist.
where did we read up to? Then perhaps we can just
You know, this is the last one we did, but we could do.
why don't we just like as we read each paragraph, we just pause and
Yeah,
see if we
that's
can
good
identify
idea.
what's
Because
going on.
we were just reading and like.
Yeah,
was
so but now I'm lost of where we were left off. So if someone could
read. One devotee boldly said.
Yeah, that's the next paragraph, wasn't it?
okay. So perhaps
We discussed
someone
that.
let's just read then in another statement. Shubar, someone could read that paragraph and we're press the pause button.
Yeah, just one paragraph and then we can discuss it.
Yeah, so anyone could read. Anyone who's I won't call on you. You can
In the
spontaneously.
statement, yeah, in another statement, Subala is addressed thus: My dear Subala, the damsels of Vrindavan, who had the opportunity of enjoying Krishna's kissing, must be the foremost of all the fortunate women in the world. In this example, the ecstasy of fraternal devotional service is the whole, and the ecstasy of conjugal love is the part.
Okay, professors of rasa. let's pick this apart. So 2 rasas are explained there. One is primary rasa, conjugal, and the other one fraternal. Yeah, the main, yeah, it's looking now, it's looking at the Vatsalya, no, friendship and conjugal. So what's the friendship part? This one's quite easy, actually.
My dear Subal.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
dear Shubar, he's a friend.
And the other one is enjoying Krishna's kissing.
Yeah, there you go.
And I see that's how we, instead of reading all those paragraphs and completely getting lost.
Yeah, so there
We
you go.
won't get
So,
lost now, Chandravali. Okay.
yeah, so enjoying Krishna's kissing is obviously conjugal. And my dear Shubar, in another statement, Shubar is addressed. So one of the cowboys is speaking to Shubar.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So let someone read the next one.
Okay, maybe I can read. The following statement was made by Krishna to the gopis. My dear enchanted, don't gaze at me with longing eyes like this. Be satisfied and return to your homes in Vrindavan. There is no necessity of your presence here. While Krishna was joking in this way with the damsels of Raj, who with great hope had come to enjoy the ras dance with him, Subal was also on the scene, and he began to talk to Krishna with wide and laughing eyes. Subal's feeling contained a mixture of fraternity and laughter in devotional service. Fraternity is considered here to be the whole, and the laughter is considered the part.
Right, perhaps you can give a little explanation of that, Mama Chandravali.
Ah, I'm just thinking yet.
I didn't know you had a brain.
I was just using my brain.
Hasyaras,
Sorry?
So it's fraternal.
Hasyaras, and friendship.
Yeah, yeah, this one's quite self-evident.
Yeah, well, how Subal's talking to Krishna.
Yeah, so the underlying relation or the stehi bhav is fraternal, and they're having a great laugh with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wide, he began to look at Krishna. So while Krishna was joking in this way with the damsels of Raj, who with great hope had come to enjoy the ras dance with him, Shubar was also on the scene. Yeah, that's Shubar has that relationship with Krishna that he gets involved with the conjugal relationship between Krishna and the gopis. He's kind of an inside man. He kind of knows what's going on.
I was just thinking, can you see the scene like Krishna and his friends, like Shubal's there, and the gopis are coming, and then Krishna is talking to the gopis like that, why are you here, kind of thing, you know? And the boys are laughing at each other.
Yeah.
You know,
This
like
must- yeah.
Shubal knows that Krishna wants them to, he called them, but he's like, maybe looking sideways to him and they're like, you know, what they're doing here, you know?
Yeah, you can very nicely explain. Yeah, so there's many rasa dances and there's many different pastimes that go on with all the different rasa dances. So here's one where Shubal's present. So the gopis come, Krishna's asking why they're coming, and Shubal's he's enjoying every bit of it.
He knows Krishna's heart. He knows Krishna wants that, but he's like jokingly saying, you know, laughing at him.
So that fraternal relationship is allowing him.
Now this paragraph is forming a scene in your head, so you can remember it more.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. I mean, there's description of the Ras Leela in the Krishna book, but this particular this particular detail pastime is not given in a Ras Leela that I read about in Krishna book where Shubal's present. And when the gopis come and Krishna's asking why they're there, then Shubar's wide-eyed and
He's enjoying that.
yeah. All right, let's.
Okay, I'll do
go to
the
next
following one.
Yeah.
Can I do it?
Yes,
The following example contains a mixture of ecstasy, friendly, and
Ecstatic
laughter
fraternity.
taken. Yeah, ecstatic, yes, laughter taken respectively as the whole and part. When Krishna saw that Subala is the dress of Radharani, was silently hiding under the shade of beautiful Asoka tree on the bank of Yamuna, he immediately arose from his seat in surprise upon seeing Krishna. Subala tried to hide his laughter by covering his cheeks.
So here's another pastime which we don't probably. There's a pastime behind this. We've been given a little snippet of it. So we can see the mixture here of it. Well, again, it's the same, fraternity and laughter. So here it is. Here's a pastime that Shubar was dressed as Radharani. Shubar is Radharani's brother. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So obviously they have a resemblance. So sometimes he uses that.
That's why he dresses, when Radharani can come, he dresses and stays as Radharani there, and she goes.
Yeah, that's yeah. What's that pastime called? We
Go past me.
Yeah, Gopastami. Yeah, so here we have Shubar. He's dressed as Radharani, so he's hiding
behind a tree.
Yeah, he's hiding. So it seems like Krishna doesn't know until he actually comes across, until Krishna sees Shubar. But then Shubar can't hold it together as Radharani. And he starts laughing, covering his cheeks.
Sridham is Radharani's brother.
Sorry, Mavalabanga?
Sridham is Radharani's
Oh,
brother.
Yeah.
Sridhar, okay, yeah,
That's what I
thank you.
thought.
Sridhar.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, I was to show. Okay, Shubar. Anyway, here's a pastime. So this one's he's covered, so he's trying to hide his laughter by covering his cheeks. So it'd be nice to know that pastime and how it unfolded and what happened and why. Here you go. Been given a little taster of it. Okay, let's read the next paragraph. Someone could read that.
Shall I read?
Yeah, anyone can. We're going free.
Also an example of a mixture of parental love and compassion in devotional service. When Mother Yashoda was thinking that her son was walking in the forest without any umbrella or shoes, she became greatly perturbed to think that how much difficulty Krishna must have been feeling. In this example, the whole is a paternal love and part is compassion.
Okay, this one is also, isn't it? Yeah, you can explain, Mother Rajkishore, which is the compassionate part.
Compassion is because she starts feeling how much he is suffering without shoes and umbrella.
Yeah. And the parental part is the
Mother Yashoda.
Yeah. So that's the main part. She has that Vatsalya ras, and it's manifesting as compassion. He doesn't have an umbrella to cover his head from the sun, or he doesn't have shoes to protect his feet from the stones and thorns, etc. Of course, there are no stones and thorns there in Vrindavan, which Krishna has to explain to Mother Yasoda at one point. Yeah.
No, you know what happened? The cows went out in the night and trampled on all the things to make.
Yeah, and also there's the Chamari cows as well. They sweep their towels along the path and they sweep any debris out the way. It's kind of a collective the forest are preparing for Krishna to come, and the animals, and that's how they prepare under Yoga Maya's direction. So they're engaged in Krishna's service. Yeah. Now, let's read the next one. Okay, I'll have read. Oh, actually, I can read the next one. It's one yeah, go ahead.
There is the following example of a mixture of parental love and laughter. A friend of Mother Yashoda told her, "My dear Yashoda, your son has very cunningly stolen a lump of butter from my home, and to make me blame my own son for his mischief, he has smeared some of the butter on my son's face while he was sleeping." Upon hearing this, Mother Yashoda shook her curved eyebrows. She could only look at her friend with a smiling face. May Mother Yashoda bless everyone with this smiling attitude. In this example, the whole is the parental love and part is laughter.
Okay.
It's a nice one.
I haven't heard this pastime before, where Krishna goes into a neighbor's house, smears butter on the son, the young boy in the house, and then he becomes blamed for stealing butter when it's Krishna all the time. So what's Mother Yasoda's reaction?
She thought it was funny.
Yeah, she just laughs at, like, she shook her curved eyebrows. I mean, what can you do? What can you do but laugh at this?
Exactly, yeah.
What can be done? This mischievous boy of mine. What can we do?
But everybody loves him.
Yeah. So here, I don't know, Rupa Goswami, I don't know if it's a verse from Rupa Goswami or not, but whoever is saying that may Yasoda, like, is kind of an ecstasy that devotee's feeling and appreciating that smile of Mother Yasoda. Yeah. May she bless you. May she bless everyone with this smiling attitude. Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? May everyone be blessed by this wonderful vision of Mother Yasoda smiling at the mischievous antics of her son Krishna. Now, I can read this one. Now, this one is, there's several humors going on here, not just two. There's a few. So there is an example of a mixture of several humors with devotional service as follows. When Krishna was holding up Govardhan hill with his left hand, his hair became scattered all over his shoulders, and he appeared to be perspiring. When Mother Yasoda saw this scene, she began to tremble. So we could say there's fear there, isn't there? Or dread. Let's just see dread. Okay, let's just read the whole thing, then we'll come back. She began to tremble. Then as she stared at the scene with her broadened eyes, she saw Krishna begin to exhibit varieties of facial caricatures. Mother Yasoda then became very happy and began to smile. Then again, when she thought that Krishna was holding up the hill for such an extremely long time, her clothes became soaked with perspiration. May Mother Yasoda Rajeshwari protect the whole universe by her infinite mercy. In this example, the whole is parental love, and the parts are dread, wonder, laughter, compassion, etc. All right, so it's Mother Yasoda, so it's Vatsalya, and the emotions that she is going through. So dread is the first one. She's seeing Krishna holding up the hill, perspiring. He seemed to be perspiring, so that means he seems to be struggling to hold up the hill.
Yeah, that's the wonder.
But then Krishna then begins to exhibit different facial characters, as if, he's just having a laugh. There's not, don't worry. He's probably smiling at his friends, glancing at the gopis, so he's got different features on his face. So then she becomes relieved. Yeah. So, yeah. Long
Just
times, because so you can see there's dread, wonder, laughter, and compassion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
isn't it beautiful just reading and now just seeing the whole scene with all these different things? It's really like different.
Yeah, you can see how absorbed Rupa Goswami is in Krishna consciousness. He is able to give examples of all of these rasas that he's speaking about, you know?
Because he's there.
Yeah, he's Rupa Manjari, as we know. Okay, let's read the next one.
Can I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, please go ahead.
There is an example of a mixture of conjugal love and fraternal affection when Srimati Radharani said, "My dear friends, just see how Krishna is resting his hand on the shoulder of Subala, who is dressed up just like a young girl. I think he must be sending some message to me through Subala. The purport is that the superiors of Radharani do not like Krishna or his cowherd friends to associate with her. Therefore, these friends sometimes clothe themselves in female dress so they can give Radharani a message from Krishna. In this example, the whole is conjugal love and the part of his fraternity.
Okay. Can we see what's going on here?
Yes.
We can perhaps expand on it a bit. Someone could try and take us into it a bit more.
The conjugal love is talking about Srimati Radharani.
Yeah, yeah.
And
that's the underlying mood.
yes. And the paternity would be Shubar dressed up as a female to pass on the messages.
Yeah, I think so. Friendship. So, my dear friend, you see how Krishna, yeah, so he's resting his hand on the Shubar. So
Yeah.
that's friendship, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's resting his hand on the shoulder. Shubar is dressed up as a young girl.
Yeah, and Radharani or the gopis, the conjugal love comes in with Radharani there.
Yeah, because like that's the idea, because we know the whole mood in Braj is forbidden love, isn't it?
They're talking about the mother-in-law, the in-law side of the family who do not like
Yeah.
Radharani mixing with Krishna and the gopas.
So here's what they what they sometimes do in order to get messages to Radharani.
Yeah.
Shubar dresses up like a gopi.
Yeah.
They could enter the house and prove short-sighted Jatila. And yeah, pass messages to and fro. Yeah, so you can picture the scene as a whole conspiracy going on. There's a whole conspiracy going on. They're all trying to, all the cowherd girls, some of the cowherd boys as well. They're all trying to arrange that Radha and Krishna meet. When you got the other side, the in-laws, they're trying to arrange that they don't meet. So there's lots of shenanigans, disguises, and all types of lots of lies. There's lots of duplicity, and there's lots of lying, but it's all pure because it's all to enable Radha Krishna to meet together.
Yeah.
So if that's of course, we can't apply that type. I mean, there was one. I won't go into all the details, but there's one senior Vaishnava, kind of Vaishnava who had some issues with ISKCON, and his philosophy was just as Krishna is a bit crooked, then I can also be a bit crooked. He was initiating ISKCON devotees who were initiated. So anyway, let's keep it there. But yeah, so there's lots of shenanigans going on.
Prabhu, I'm sure all of us have been to where the palace was. So you can just imagine the things, what we're reading. The Gopals dressing up, and sometimes Krishna himself dresses up in a female outfit to go and see Radharani.
Yeah.
What's the place called? Last time I went with Chandravali there with Dinabandhu Prabhu. Chandravali, what's the place? What's the name of the place?
Well, I mean, the household, I mean the place where Krishna lives and Radharani lives.
Where Jatila and there,
Oh,
is it Raval? No, Raval is where she was born, isn't it?
Brothers, yeah. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not so up on Raj, Leela and the pastime places. But
Do you
And
remember?
yes, yeah. Isn't it Rava? On the side is the temple with Jatila, Kotila, and Abhimanyu.
No, but that's
yeah.
that's Raval. That's where she was born, like when she's a baby as well. No, the other place where we Dinabandhu Prabhu, we always go around there. Where we
Is it
get
Javat? Is it Javat?
yes, Yavat, yes, that's
Yeah.
it. Yavat.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
next time you go there, you can recall these pastimes that we're reading about.
Yes.
That's not such an uncommon pastime where Radha and Krishna dress in different disguises.
No.
I was just reading recently where it's difficult even to follow when you're reading who is who, because one time Krishna dresses up as Radharani and Radharani dresses up as Krishna.
Yes.
And there's a whole pastime go on where the gopis don't know who is who.
Yeah.
They don't know who is who. And there's whole pastime where Radharani stroke Krishna, wants to speak privately with her gopi friends, but it's Krishna disguised as Radharani. And they become shocked because Radharani start to kind of relate in an amorous way to the gopi.
Yeah.
And puts his hand around the gopi. And
Doesn't
the
that
gopi
come in
says,
Krishna book, Prabhu? Or was it?
It's not in Krishna book. And then the gopi says, "What is this? Is it?" Then Krishna reveals, and then that gopi, then she goes out, and then she doesn't tell any of the other gopis what's just going on. And so she tells another gopi to go in because Radharani wants to speak to you.
Is it
And
in Venugita then?
Sorry?
Because I read it recently, Venugita?
Yeah, I think we might have touched it in Vanguard,
Yeah.
but this is in the book by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Anyway, disguises. It's disguises. It's all done by Yogamaya because you would think that they would, like when someone's disguised, isn't it? It doesn't take much to work out who it actually is. But actually under Yogamaya, then they can't work out who it is. Krishna is so expertly described sometimes he's disguised as a boatman, isn't it? So many disguises, boatman, and then he's
Boatman, a barber,
someone
selling bangles.
bangles. Yeah, so many disguises.
But they catch him in the end. They
Yeah,
always,
some pastimes. Yeah.
catch him.
Right.
Of course, you have to catch them. It wouldn't be fun, would it, Chandravali?
True.
Yeah.
It's not. It has to be Krishna.
Right. So should we read another one?
Yes.
Okay, someone could read the next one, and I've lost track. I'll have to find.
I'm lost where we are.
I think the following illustrates.
Go on.
Yeah.
The following illustrates a mixture of several feelings. When one of the consort friends of Chandravali saw that Krishna was preparing to fight with the Vrasura Daman, she began to think how wonderful Krishna is.
Sorry, I think you missed the above text.
The following is
Oh yeah. We missed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to miss anything. Yeah.
The following is an example, that one.
Yeah.
Go and read it, Suwana.
Read it.
Go on.
Whoever was reading.
Following is an example of mixture of conjugal love and laughter in devotional service. Krishna, in the dress of a young girl, told Radharani, "Oh, you hard-hearted girl, don't you know that I am your sister? Why are you unable to recognize me? Be merciful upon me and please capture my shoulder and embrace me with love." While Krishna was dressed up exactly like Radharani, he was speaking these nice words and Srimati Radharani could understand his purpose. But because she was in front of many of her superiors, she simply smiled and did not say anything. In this instance, the ecstasy of conjugal love is taken as a whole, and the ecstasy of laughter is taken as a part. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of self-evident.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
straightforward too there. So here's another pastime. Wonderful pastime. Krishna dressed as a young girl.
He really enjoyed all these pastimes, didn't he?
Yeah, Rasaraj. His name is Rasaraj. This is these loving pastimes. So it seems like in this pastime, there's elders are there. So Radharani has to be a little bit composed.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah,
she has
be
to
very
come
careful what she's doing.
composed. So therefore, she simply smiled and didn't say anything. Yeah, she couldn't directly rebuke Krishna for dressing as a young gopi. Probably the elders don't recognize it's Krishna, but Radharani does. Yeah.
Yeah.
She knows it's Krishna, but they think it's another gopi. So she's smiling at the whole thing, but she can't say anything. She's just smiling. Really, it's Krishna's dressed as a young gopi and all the elders there. I don't know what elders, maybe perhaps it's Nanda Maharaj and Nanda Maharaj's brothers are there, or, you know, the elders, or it might be in the house of Radharani.
Mother-in-law and sister-in-law are there.
Yeah. Perhaps you could say it's them and they don't know Krishna's right there. All right. Let's read another one. Someone could read the following illustrates.
The following illustrates a mixture of several feelings. When one of the concert friends of Chandravali saw that Krishna was preparing to fight with the Rasura demon, she began to think, how wonderful is his mind is captivated by the eyebrows of Chandravali in a smiling spirit. His snake-like arms are on the shoulder of his friend, and at the same time, he is roaring like a lion to encourage Rasura to fight with him. This is an example of conjugal love, fraternity, and chivalry. The conjugal love is taken here as the whole, and the fraternity and chivalry are taken as the parts.
Okay. I guess this demon is different wording, isn't it? Vrishasura. What demon is that?
Yeah, I was thinking.
Rikas, no, it's not Rikas, no, that's completely anyway, so now we introduce Chandravali. She's appreciating Krishna. And Krishna probably knows that she's watching, so he's trying to impress the girls, you know, trying to make impression on it. Well, doesn't trying to, he is, so he's fighting with this demon. Yeah, all right. Now we go to Kubja. Now we come out of Vrindavan. The example is given in Mathura. Perhaps someone could read this one.
Oh, it says demon calf.
Oh, yeah, so
yeah, I'm just looking up.
Okay, great. So,
Yeah, I think they've got the spelling wrong, that's all.
okay, yeah.
What was the demon you said?
It's a bull, actually.
Calf, yeah, bull demon.
What's the name of the bull demon that Krishna killed?
Vatasura.
Vatasura. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think they got the
Vatasura.
spelling wrong here. Sorry.
All right, so now it goes in a bit of a different direction here. But someone could read the next paragraph. And then...
When Kubja caught hold of Krishna's yellow garment because she was feeling almost lusty with the sex active, Krishna simply bowed down his head with his cheeks glowing in front of many people who were standing there and laughing. This is an example of mixture of ecstasy, conjugal love, and laughter. The laughter is taken as the whole, and the conjugal love is taken as the part.
Okay, so this pastime is in Krishna book. Yeah. This is in Krishna book. When Kubja, on being transformed, we know the story, isn't it?
Ah, yes.
Yeah,
Being
yeah, so
transformed
good it is.
into Surah, and she has these selfish desires.
Desire, yeah.
She wants to enjoy Krishna, but the gopis is different. They don't have any sense of selfish desire. They always wanted Krishna to be happy, but
Always
that's
want
why
to
it's
serve
described as
Krishna.
almost lusty. And then, as we know, she gets purified of that. Yeah, she gets purified of that. She's happy to serve Krishna and to be absorbed in Krishna. So anyway, so this is yeah. So who's laughing?
All the people watching, all the others watching.
Yeah, who are the others?
All the gopas.
Yeah, Balaram, the others, you know.
When they were walking down
Yeah,
the street.
they're all laughing. They're all, yeah. So they're having it's a wonderful pastime that where Krishna walks into Mathura like he owns a place.
Yeah.
Which he does.
Definitely, yeah, yes.
He owns a place, and he describes he walks like a baby elephant, you know, which means he's going like that.
Imagine how he feels like he's him and Balram walking in the front. All this time, I'll show you this town, village, or whatever.
Yeah.
And he kills. What's the name of the elephant he kills to begin with when he enters?
Kuvalyapida.
Oh, yeah,
That's it,
Kuvalyapida.
yeah.
Big ferocious. I think it's more than the elephant. It's what you call mammoth type. So Krishna, yeah. Sometimes when I read that, we see some person because of false ego, is they think they own the place.
Yeah.
They have this, you know, I'm the coolest person in town. You know, I think I said before when one time we was going to a program in South London somewhere, and this colored guy, he walked in the middle of the road really slow, and every car had to stop for him, you know. He was walking like he owned the place, you know. He was trying to be Krishna. Yeah, trying to be Krishna. It's only Krishna could, but he was walking in the middle of traffic, like, and you know, everyone had to stop for him, you know. So you can see how, yeah, Krishna can do things like Krishna can walk in Mathura like he owns a place, you know, and to show off as well. That's God. God can do.
Exactly, but he's so merciful to all his devotees.
Yeah, he's even those who he kills.
Yeah, and you know, even pretending like when he walks, they don't know how to dress up. You know, they just think that he doesn't know, but he knew how to do. But obviously, he just that's his leela showing his devotees.
Yeah, and then he has the audacity to ask a washerman for his clothes. This is the king's clothes. How can you ask for the king?
He was so cross, wasn't he?
Yeah, and then Krishna Balaram put on the king's clothes. It's like, imagine what Kamsa was thinking when he said, well, I don't know what he must have saw when he saw Krishna with his own clothes on. That's Krishna. All right, it's 7 o'clock. Right, we have to stop the Krishna Katha there. That was very nice.
These pastimes, you go to bed meditating. It's really good.
So let's perhaps Sahachari Mavi, could you just keep check on where we left off on the paragraph. So next
I've
time.
marked it, Prabhu. I've marked
Yeah,
it. It's
yeah,
not
oh, yeah,
easy for me
yeah.
on Kindle.
Yeah, thank you, Savannah Radhika. If you could mark it, then
Yeah.
I'm just, yeah, we're nearly at the end of this chapter, and then chapter 50 is further analysis of mixed rasas, so we can
Nice.
scientifically continue analyzing
Yeah.
the pastimes. Okay.
Okay. Yeah,
Well,
His Grace Prabhu Murli Prabhu Ki Jai. Thank you so much for your lovely
Jai.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very
Hare
much.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Jai.
Hare Krishna, everyone.